What's going on, everybody? It's Zach and Nick from the Tatted Bears Bros Podcast.
We just wanted to take a quick minute to thank you for clicking on another podcast and giving us your feedback.
If you enjoy listening to us give our very biased opinion, then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and rate us wherever you listen to your podcast. As always, bear down. What's going on, everybody?
Yes! Back to the Tatted Bears Bros Podcast. I'm Nick, that's Zach, and like always, we're going to start out with some news around the league and the Bears, and then we're going to jump into a mock draft of the first round. Zach, let's get it.
Yeah, nice to see you too, brother. So, the first thing that I really had on my news and notes around the league was the whole deal with Rashee Rice and, that unfortunate situation there. It's crazy what happens with all these young wide receivers, and even not just wide receivers, but young players in general. They get a whole lot of money, and a lot of times don't make the right decision. You see it, like I said, with Rashee Rice. You saw Jordan Addison get into the same type of situation. You saw Jalen Carter get into that situation last year before he was even drafted. Henry Ruggs, for example, it's not a good situation here. But what else you got?
Really, all I remember seeing was Caleb Williams only wanting to take one top 30 visit, and that was to the Bears. That did happen last night, and from the reports that I've been seeing, it was all very positive. Staff loved him. The entire organization loved him. They treated him out to dinner. And I can't remember what else they did for him as well, but there were some numerous other things that they did for him. But I've been hearing all positive news.
I do know that they had a couple teammates out to dinner with him. Like, I know Tyreek Stevenson went out there. I know DJ Moore was out there. I'm not sure if Keenan Allen was out there or not, but I know that several Bears players were out there. It didn't really seem like a interview. It was more of a, get to know your new quarterback type of deal to me. Just because, they brought out Caleb's teammates from USC out to dinner. What was it? About a month ago now. And they all had dinner. And Ryan Poles took that... picked up that tab, actually. I'm not sure if that came from the Bears or if that actually came out of Ryan Poles' pocket. Either way, it's still good. I did hear that at that dinner last night that Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus actually sat at a separate table and let all the players eat by themselves so they can just kind of get to know each other.
I did not hear that, but that's a smart way to do that. And again, I don't understand his ways, but I've learned to trust him. So whatever he's doing it right.
Ryan Poles, we trust in Poles. I didn't like the Justin Fields trade. I've been very vocal about that. But it is what it is. It's time to move on. I know a lot of people are stuck in their ways that, the Bears made the wrong decision, this, that, and the third. But, you know me as well as anybody. I might be the biggest Justin Fields fan in the entire world. And even I've made my peace with it. He's gone. He's not coming back. Move on to the Caleb train or get out the way. And anybody who's actually sat down and watched Caleb Williams tape, he's good. Like, he doesn't suck, and if anybody tries to claim that he does suck, is just not paying attention. His attitude might suck. We don't know for sure there, but everything I'm hearing, everything I'm seeing, it seems like a stand-up guy. He already has his own charitable organization coming out, and it is what it is. Get on or get out the way.
Yeah, and going back to his play, Lincoln Riley does have a very complex offense for what it is in college. It is more of a pro-style offense, so it's a lot better for him to be able to be in that kind of an offense in college, to being used to it in the NFL, to be able to pick up on it pretty quickly as well.
We've seen a lot of quarterbacks actually transition from that offense and be successful pros. Hell, look at the best quarterback in the league right now is out of that offense, Patrick Mahomes. And then you've also had success with like Kyler Murray coming out, and a lot of people thought that maybe he would, eventually win MVP, but he ended up tearing his ACL, unfortunately, and didn't end up getting to that goal, but doesn't mean he can't get there eventually. But with that being said, I do know that you are on some time constraints here, so we won't linger around too much more. We're just going to go ahead and get into this mock draft. Did you have anything else that you wanted to touch on before we get started here? Anything like that?
The only thing is, with this mock draft, this is our personal picks. If you don't agree with the picks, leave a comment. We would love to hear what you guys' opinions are with that. Just let us know what you would have done differently or if you agree with our picks.
Seriously, like we love hearing from people. We like hearing what you guys think because obviously it's not going to be the same as ours. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to trade off back and forth. So like for example, I'll make the number 1 pick, Nick will make the number 2 pick, back and forth. We already know who the number 1 pick is going to be. It's going to be Caleb Williams. So we're going to go ahead and get into this here. I'll switch it over to this screen. All right, so here we are. I'm just going to go ahead and press start draft. Get the easy one out of the way here. We're just going to draft Caleb Williams. So, Nick, who you got up for number 2? And give me a little bit of reason why you got him there at number 2.
So, number 2, I've got Jaden Daniels going to the Commanders. I went him over Drake May. I've been watching a lot more tape on both of these guys, and Jaden Daniels is just a better quarterback. He plays a lot more physical. He does make mistakes, but so does Drake May. You're gonna have that. That's what happens with every single person. Everybody makes mistakes, but Jaden Daniels just has a lot more poise in the pocket. And when the pocket does collapse, he is going to take off and he's going to run someone. He's going to outrun someone, and if he has to, he'll run someone over too.
Yep.
So I believe he'll be a great fit with the Commanders.
That's a good pick. It's not the pick I would have gone. Personally, I think Jaden Daniels getting too much hype. I think that he's a poor man's Justin Fields. That's not anywhere near as big. If Justin Fields had problems staying healthy, then Jaden Daniels is going to have problems staying healthy too. And in my opinion, you can look at that picture that came out about his elbow. I don't know how much that is actually going to affect him, but that thing looked pretty disgusting. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I thought it was a fake picture at first.
Yeah, I mean, looked gross.
Yeah.
But so on to pick number 3 here for me. I'm taking Drake May going to New England. He's the prototypical New England quarterback. You know, he screams Tom Brady all over again. He's not going to be as good as Tom Brady, obviously, probably, but he's tall. Drake May is actually a little bit more athletic than what people think. If you sit down and take a look at him, that he can move. He's not the statue like Brady was or Peyton Manning was. He can get going. He's a lot more almost like Mitch Trubisky was coming out of there. I know they went to the same school, and I'm trying to stay away from that comp, but it's pretty similar. It's like Mitch Trubisky with a stronger arm and better decision making.
Yeah, see, I personally don't agree with that. My personal opinion, I think they're going to take J.J. McCarthy. I think his draft stock has jumped a lot, especially after his pro day and the combine, and I could just very well see him taking another Michigan quarterback.
Let's see, that's the thing here. You see it every single year. One of these quarterbacks is going to fall. It's not going to be Caleb Williams. We're taking him number 1 overall. So it's either going to be one of these top 4 it's going to be Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy. One of these 3 guys are going to fall a lot deeper than what everybody's thinking. And even at that, I don't even know that we're going to see exactly what we're wanting to see here. So, we'll get into a little bit later on what I'm thinking is going to go on. But who do you got coming off the board at number 4 with the Cardinals?
Marvin Harrison Jr. And how badly I've wanted that man to be a Chicago Bear. You've known it for the past 2 years. I'm an Ohio State fan and a Bears fan. I've wanted Marvin Harrison Jr. to be with the Bears since he came to Ohio State. But we're at 9. We need a quarterback first. Marvin Harrison is going to thrive in that offense. He's going to thrive anywhere he goes. Just big body, amazing route runner, and he catches everything that comes his way.
Yeah, I agree. Marvin Harrison's great. Don't get me wrong. I want him in a Bears uniform just as bad as the next guy. But everything that I'm hearing coming out, with Rome, with Malik, the gap really isn't as wide as what people were making it out to be at the beginning of the college season. Malik got into a little bit of trouble. It's been expunged now. The whole thing, getting arrested for having a gun and that thing. We're not going to get into that. But the gap really isn't that big. Marvin, I think, is the the top one, but any one of these three guys could be the number one wide receiver in any draft, really. So,
See, I think the gap is a little bit bigger than what you are thinking because you gotta think uh, the league has Jaden Daniels just won the Heisman and who I have going number two. Roma Dunze had Michael Penix, not the best, but he did take his team to the national championship. Marvin Harrison had to deal with Kyle McCord,
he also
who
had
is
CJ Stroud.
and that's when he was the second running for Heisman that year, and then
That's
he
what I'm
got hurt
saying.
against Georgia.
That's
He
what I'm
was
saying.
single handedly going to beat Georgia. That's why I'm saying it's a little bit bigger of a gap this year than it was a year ago.
We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, all three of these guys could be number one receivers in any draft. So right here at pick 5 for me, I did a little shake and bake here. I've tossed it around in my own mind of what I want, what I think is going to happen, and ultimately what will happen. It's going to be Joe Alt right here. Listening to Harbaugh talk, he's loving the offensive line. The things that he says, you can look at the exact quote that he had. It was, what position group on a football team doesn't have to rely on anybody else to be good? The offensive line. What position group is solely relied on to be good for the rest of the team to work? The offensive line. So the way he's looking at it here, I think Joe Alt is the guy for him, and we'll just have to see how it shakes out there. It looks like he's going to go ahead and get his left tackle of the future. Joe Alt's huge. I don't know if you've seen his measurables or not, but dude's 6'9", and I mean that's massive. It's almost a little too tall to be a left tackle in my opinion, just because those edge rushers, they're going to see a 6'9" guy and they're going to think, they're going to be licking their chops just trying to dip down because you see a guy that tall can't really get low. That's the thing with Joe Alt, though. He does play with good pad level for as big as he is. So good for him.
Yeah, I actually agree with that because, again, like I was just saying, I'm an Ohio State fan, so I'm used to seeing Michigan. That every single person on that offensive line is able to be a first round draft pick. I believe
I think you mean Notre Dame there.
No, Michigan.
Joe Alt plays for Notre Dame.
No, I know. I'm getting to with Jim Harbaugh. He loves having big offensive linemen, and every single one of his offensive line is going to be a first round draft pick when they come to the draft. He prides himself in the O line, so I wholeheartedly agree with that pick with Joe Alt.
Okay. So you got the Giants here at number 6. What are you thinking there?
This is a toss up for me. I would think that I could see them going two ways. But I'm leaning more towards they need a quarterback because they just paid Daniel Jones, overpaid, way overpaid. Then he got hurt. I think they're taking Michael Penix. I think the big four are going to be off the board. I really think they're going to be off the board at that time. So I'm saying they're going to take Michael Penix and start over at the quarterback.
Okay, so with Michael Penix there coming off the board, that leaves with this mock draft that we got going here. That one's a big one. I got the Tennessee Titans trading out with the Minnesota Vikings, so the Vikings can go up and get their player of the future. They're going to give him 11. They're going to give him a 4th round pick here. Is that 129? Is that a 4th round pick, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll throw in next year's 3rd. So I'll force this trade here. Apparently I don't got trade. So I'm not paying for that. So we'll just play it as it lies here, I guess. But that's what I would have had happen was the Vikings would going up and get their guy J.J. McCarthy at 7. So
Okay.
I guess I'll have to pivot here. They need wide receiver. I don't think they're going to go get wide receiver. I think they're going to get their guy. Where's he at here? Olu Fashanu. They're going to take him because they need O-line help. They just need a lot of help. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even take a quarterback themselves with, Will Levis showed a little bit of promise, but I don't think that he showed enough. Plus, they just got their new coach. They just got their, I don't think they got a new GM, but they just got their new coach, a new offensive coordinator, everything. They got rid of Derrick Henry. They're rebuilding, and, right now in that quarterback room for them, it's only Will Levis or Mason Rudolph. Neither one of those guys scream, I'm the future of the Tennessee Titans, in my opinion.
Malik is still there, isn't he?
I don't believe so. He might be, but he really doesn't have Snowball's chance to be the starter on that team. So
I agree with the Olu pick. That's who I had them taking because I think they're gonna throw everything they can to make sure Will Levis progresses to where he can be. Like you said, he didn't have the best season last year as a rookie, but they didn't want him to play. They really wanted him to sit and learn behind Ryan Tannehill, but then injuries and then just terrible play forced him to get in there. And he didn't do terribly as a rookie. He could have done a lot worse.
Could have done a lot better.
I do. He could have. But that I do agree with getting him help on the offensive line so he can be a lot more comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah. So you're on the clock here at 8 with the Atlanta Falcons. Who you got them taking there?
I got them taking Dallas Turner. Right there, mainly because their sack leader last year was Calais Campbell, who, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's 39, and he led the team in sacks last year. They need someone who's young, who they can develop, who they can really mold that defense around. Yeah, they have AJ Terrell, and he's not going anywhere, but they need someone on that front four that they can really mold into the player that they want him to be.
For sure. They just got their D tackle back in Eddie Goldman too, so it's going to be huge for them.
They did.
So. All right, I'm up here at 9 again with our Chicago Bears, and I think there's only one answer here. I really do. It's Rome Odunze. He's everything that there is to be asked for him. He come out and said in every jump ball scenario in his mind, it's 100-0. It's not 50-50. He's going to get it. He doesn't matter where it is. He runs beautiful routes. He's everything that you could want in a wide receiver that's not named Marvin Harrison Jr. So, all right, who you got here with the Jets at 10?
So originally with the Jets, I had them taking Olu, but obviously we had him going to the Titans. So I'm having them take Talisi Fuaga. I'm probably not pronouncing that right name at all, but I have him taking the tackle out of Oregon, so they can get an offensive tackle and they can hopefully keep Aaron Rodgers healthy.
So this is actually interesting. We have, Malik Neighbors making it out of the top 10. It's just kind of how the cookie crumbles there. But with the way things shook out, I have the Vikings still getting their guy, staying pat, not having to trade up at all. They're going to get their guy, J.J. McCarthy here. Sam Darnold is not the answer in Minnesota. And if they stick with Sam Darnold, that's good news for us being a division rival. So I don't see it happening. I think they're going to do everything they can to get one of these quarterbacks, whether that be JJ, whether that be, Drake May, Michael Penix. One of these guys is what they're going to do. So,
yep, I wholeheartedly agree. If they think they're going to win games with Sam Darnold, and in this division alone, like, I hate to say it, the Lions, they're doing something right over there. Green Bay, they did it again. I'm not even gonna get into that. That irritates me so much. And And then we're coming up. Yeah, we still have some issues that we need to fix, but we're fixing those a lot quicker than anybody could have ever predicted. If they think they can win with Sam Darnold, that's not a good time.
I mean, their defense is solid. They just signed Aaron Jones, so they're going to have a good running game. Justin Jefferson is still there. I think the one thing that they're missing is definitely the quarterback. So if they can get somebody in there that's worth a damn, then I think they could be halfway decent. I really think that we're going to have the best division in football next year between, whoever ends up winning it, whether it be, I mean, really any of the four could win it here, but also any of the four could also lose it and still have 9 or 10 wins.
I mean, we had two teams in the playoffs this year from our division, the Lions and Packers. Packers made it to the divisional round. Lions made it to the championship round. Almost really blew the 49ers out of the water in the first half, the way it was seeming. And then the Bears were a game out of the playoffs.
Yep, definitely. So, moving along here, we got the Broncos on the clock at 12. Who you taking there?
So, I am having them take Bo Nix.
Broncos get their quarterback of the future.
They just let go of Russell Wilson. They're still paying him however much money it is, way too much money.
I think they're paying him like $36 million.
I was thinking like $36 to $39 million, and then he's taking the vet minimum with Pittsburgh, but they're gonna need to draft a quarterback. They're gonna need to draft him right there, really, if they want any shot of having a competent quarterback. And I believe Bo Nix is the right fit for them. He's got good size. He's comfortable in the pocket, and he's really what Sean Payton would love to have in a quarterback.
Definitely. So, I'm up again here with the Las Vegas Raiders. They missed out on their quarterback. They just lost their running back in free agency. They don't really have nothing for skill position. I mean, I know they just drafted that tight end last year, but going BPA here, best player available, they're taking Brock Bowers. I don't think that there's Brock Bowers falling out of the top 10 is going to be a shock to a lot of people, but you got to realize paying top 10 money to a tight end is crazy. The Falcons are almost regretting it now with Kyle Pitts, so I don't think anybody's going to make that mistake again of taking a top 10 tight end no matter how good he is. And I really do. I think Brock Bowers is arguably a top 5 player in this draft. It's just the matter of paying a tight end. If he gets drafted top 10, he's automatically a top 5 paid tight end in the league, which is insane.
Yep. So. And that immediately, I know Cole is technically a top. No, I don't even think Cole's top 5 tight end with paid.
I don't think so. I think he's like 7 or 8.
Yeah, he's up there, but he's not where he's a fair contract, really fair contract. But a rookie would be getting paid more than him at that point. That's just ridiculous.
Yep. So you're on the clock here with the Saints.
So I'm having them take Amarius Mims, the tackle out of Georgia. They seriously need to fix that O-line. That was probably one of their biggest struggles last year. Was just O-line just fell apart very quickly in every game.
Yeah. Yes and no. I do like the tackle pick there. The Saints are kind of a mess salary cap wise. They're going to be dumping a lot of players next year. They are just in salary cap hell, really. They haven't been smart with their money, so infusion of young talent here would be very beneficial for them. Number 15 for me, I mean, you got Malik Neighbors still sitting there at 15. I think the Indianapolis Colts would sprint to the podium, turning that card in quicker than shit. So
that'd be dumb not to. Pairing him with Michael Pittman, you'd be dumb not to take that pick right there.
Yep. So that was a pretty easy one for me there. So you're on the clock here with Seattle.
So I have them taking Terrion Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama.
back-to-back corners for them. They took one last year.
Yep, I want to see that they're trying to rebolster that defense, trying to remake that Legion of Boom, but make it younger so they can keep it going for a lot longer instead of 3 years that it was.
Definitely. I think with especially having the Ravens defensive coordinator being their new coach, he's going to come in and want to set that culture of, defense first. This is what we're doing. So I think it's a good pick. So right here, the Jaguars really need a lot too. They went from being 8-3 last year to missing the playoffs. That's not all Trevor Lawrence's fault. That's, they didn't have the best defense in the league. They didn't have really anything outside of Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley, and even Calvin Ridley wasn't all that great. So I have them taking Johnny Newton out of Illinois. Like I said, they need interior D-line help. They need edge help. So kind of went back and forth there on whether or not I wanted them to take Newton or, Byron Murphy or Leatu Latu. There was just a ton of options there. They really need help on the D-line.
Yeah, that's a fair pick. I agree. They do need a lot of help on that offensive line. I believe they were ranked 26th last year, from what I was seeing in PFF. So them taking a D tackle right there is a lot of help.
Okay. Who you got the Bengals taking here?
I was kind of toss up right here. I think I'm having them take Byron Murphy out of Texas.
That's a tough one. I really wanted the Bears to grab him.
I know, but they really could use some interior line help as well, just like the Jags could do, and having him with I can't remember his name, Henderson, I think, or Henderson, for him, that would really bolster their defense and help them out a ton.
Yep, he's a hell of a player. Like I said, I really wanted him to be in a Bears uniform, but couldn't pass up on Rome. So, all right. So with LA here, they're kind of in middle ground. They made the playoffs last year, or at least they were really close. One of the two, I can't remember for sure. Matthew Stafford made it. Did they make it?
Yeah, because they played in Detroit.
Yep, you're right. Matthew Stafford's not getting any younger, so their window is right now. If they're going to win another one, they got to do it right now. And they just lost Aaron Donald, which is killer for them, so they're definitely going to need some help rushing that passer. And I think they're getting a steal here at number 19, taking Leatu Latu. Easily the best edge player in the draft if he can stay healthy. His problem was he had to medically retire because of his neck injuries and was able to come back and play for a different college team. Like I said, if he can stay healthy, he's the best player coming on the defensive line throughout the entire draft. So
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And that'd be a great pickup for him as well. And getting him into LA, or keeping him in LA, I should say. With number 20, though, I have the Steelers taking Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU.
Ooh.
I have them taking him because they just traded Deontay Johnson, and they're going to need someone on the opposite side to help with George Pickens. And if they want to make Russell Wilson look like a competent quarterback, they're going to need some competent receivers on the outside to help him out.
I don't know how long Russell Wilson's going to hold on to that job. I think Justin Fields is going to take it a lot quicker than what people are thinking here. Even Mike Tomlin come out and said that, I wouldn't put all your eggs in the Russell Wilson basket right now.
Well, see, I've already told you, I think Justin Fields is going to beat him out in training camp. But as of right now, Russell Wilson's the starter.
Yeah, just like Andy Dalton was the starter, just like Mike Glennon was the starter.
Yeah.
The young guy's going to end up beating him out.
Yeah, it's all because they don't want to give the Bears a 4th-round pick, which, again, is stupid.
It's going to happen. You're going to get to 0-4. Russell Wilson's thrown 47 interceptions, and they're like, all right, I'm done.
47 interceptions. I feel like after the first 10, within 4 weeks, you should be like, hey, we need to talk about this.
Nope, he's throwing, 10 interceptions a game.
Jeez.
All right, so I'm on the clock here with the Dolphins, and just like everybody else, they need D-line help, and I got them taking Jared Verse out of Florida State. Another great pass rusher for them. I know they got Bradley Chubb on one side, but why not pair him with another edge rusher that can really hammer home, getting to the quarterback, and it's really a steal at 21 because a lot of people have him going in the top 10.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like Jared Verse going 21. That might be the upset of the first round. Him going that late along with Leatu Latu. Then them two going that late is just would be crazy. At 22 though, I have the Eagles selecting Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. They're gonna want to pair someone with Darius Slay, and with them getting CJ Gardner-Johnson back too, that's gonna be. They're trying to have the best secondary in the league with that.
Definitely. I don't hate the pick. I don't like that. I don't like where he's getting drafted over. These two guys sitting over here above him. Quinyon Mitchell, I know, is supposed to be damn good out of Toledo, and Cooper DeJean is, take what you want, but no, I don't hate the pick. The Eagles definitely need some help there. I think they could use some safety help. I think they could use just really defensive help. That defense was a mess last year. It doesn't matter who was calling the plays, whether it was Sean Desai or Matt Patricia. It didn't matter.
Matt Patricia's garbage. Can't stand him. Never have, never will.
All right. So I'm back on the clock here with the Vikings at 23, and I actually have them taking off one of these guys that I was just talking about, Quinyon Mitchell. Their secondary was burnt toast last year. The only reason why they had a halfway decent defense was because they blitzed the hell out of everybody. I think they had a 70% blitz rate, which is insane. So if they weren't getting home, they were getting toasted.
Average of the league was 26%. The Vikings blitzed 76% of their snaps.
Yep, it's insane.
I mean, hey, for the longest time it worked because they were getting to the quarterback a lot at the first half of the season, and then just
okay. I know you got to get going here soon. We got about 15 minutes left before you got to hop off here, so we're just gonna bang through these last few here. So who you got the Cowboys taking?
I got the Cowboys taking J.C. Latham out of Alabama.
That's a good pick. They just lost their tackle to Washington, so I like that pick. All right, so I got the Packers here, 25. They get the worst player available. No, actually, I have them addressing a position of need, in my opinion, for them. Their wide receivers, they're pretty young, but they don't really have that stud guy. Christian Watson can't really stay healthy. And, that's about it. So I actually have them taking Ladd McConkey out of Georgia.
I like it. I mean, I don't like it that they're getting him, but I like the pick. At 26, I have the Buccaneers taking Darius Robinson with Leatu Latu, Jared Verse, Dallas Turner, all of them gone. They still need some edge help, and I have him being the next highest edge rusher coming out, and so they're going to take him.
Okay. So I got the Cardinals back on here. They already got their wide receiver of the future. I have them taking another guy that I really think that the Bears would benefit from, and it kills me to do this. They're taking Jackson Powers-Johnson of Oregon. He's probably the best center in the draft, maybe even the best lineman in the draft. It just that kills me to do that. So
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't have. If we could take every single player out of the first round, I 100% would. But that's not how life works.
Yeah.
But so at 28, I actually had to change this just recently. I have the Bills taking Troy Franklin out of Oregon. After trading Diggs, after losing Gabe Davis to free agency, they have nothing. They desperately need a wide receiver. I have them taking Troy Franklin.
A good pick. They, like you said, they desperately need a wide receiver there. I almost wonder if Ricky Pearsall doesn't sneak up to that point. He's gaining a lot of steam, or even someone like Adonai Mitchell, who is also a stud at wide receiver. This is a really wide receiver rich draft. So here in 29, I got Detroit. I have them taking Tyler Nubin. They just lost CJ Gardner-Johnson. They're going to need safety help. It's pretty cut and dry there. So
that's fair. I have at 30, I have the Ravens taking Devontae Walker. I feel like they really need some more help at wide receiver. I mean, yeah, they did just get Zay Flowers, but who else did they have? Nobody. I mean, they had Odell, but old Odell. You're not getting prime Odell anymore, so they need some wide receiver help.
God damn, he's ranked 72. All right. Here in San Francisco, they already had a stud defense. It's one of those situations of the rich get richer. They're taking Cooper DeJean here at 31. It's a good pick for him, I think. All right, you got Super Bowl champs.
That's a good pick. You actually just took my last pick. I was actually having him going to the Chiefs because because of L'Jarius Sneed leaving.
You still got some corners here on the. You still got Kool-Aid McKinstry. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Mike, whatever his last name is. Sanistrial.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have. They're gonna take Kool-Aid. They're gonna take Kool-Aid McKinstry. They desperately need some DB help. And like I was just saying, I had them taking Cooper, but the 49ers are gonna take him and just again have a dominant defense. But the Chiefs need a better secondary, and I believe Kool-Aid. Oh, I guess Kool-Aid can help them out.
Definitely. All right, so just to recap everything here, we got Caleb Williams going to the Bears at number 1. We all know that's going to happen. Jaden Daniels going to the Commanders at number 2. Drake May going to the Patriots at number 3. Marvin Harrison 4 to the Cardinals. Joe Alt 5 to the Chargers. Michael Penix at 6 going to New York. Olu Fashanu going to the Titans at 7. Dallas Turner going to the Falcons at 8. We get our guy Rome at 9. Talise Fuaga going to help Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Vikings get their quarterback of the future in J.J. McCarthy. Broncos do the same in Bo Nix. Raiders take best player available in Brock Bowers. The Saints take their tackle to protect Derek Carr at Amaris Mims. The Colts are throwing a party over there in Indy because they get Malik Neighbors at 15. Seahawks get cornerback help in Terrion Arnold, my bad. The Jaguars get a stud D tackle in Johnny Newton. The Bengals get another stud D tackle in Byron Murphy. And then the Rams get, in my opinion, the best edge in the draft at Leatu Latu. The Steelers get a big help at wide receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. The Dolphins take another stud edge in Jared Verse at 21. The Eagles get Nate Wiggins out of Clemson, which is much needed for them. The Vikings get the corner that they so desperately need, and Quinyon Mitchell. The Cowboys fill in some needed help at tight end in J.C. Latham. The Packers get the worst wide receiver in the draft in Ladd McConkey because the Packers suck and they will never be good again. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers get Darius Robinson. I think the wrong Robinson. He should have been Chop Robinson. But I just like the name Chop Robinson. Chop. The Cardinals steal a player from the Bears in Jackson Power Johnson. And then back-to-back Ducks go with Troy Franklin going to Buffalo. Then the Lions get their guy at safety and Tyler Nubin. The Ravens get Lamar some help and Devontae Walker. The rich get richer there in San Francisco, like I said, and Cooper DeJean. And the Super Bowl champions replace their guy with L'Jarius Sneed with Kool-Aid McKinstry. That was a lot of talking.
Yeah. This will be a very exciting draft this year. It's full of talent everywhere. There are so many players that we didn't even pick that very easily could be first round draft picks. And the top 3 receivers that we said, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Roma Dunte, they would all be top 5 picks in their respective draft if they were all in different drafts.
They would all be the number
easily.
1 wide receiver off the board.
And really, the top 4 quarterbacks, they'd be the number 1 pick in every draft, in different drafts. But
definitely.
We're getting lucky that we're getting spoiled this year, where we're going to be able to get first round talent deep into the second round, maybe even to the third round. That's how deep this draft is as far as talent and everywhere.
Yep. So, like we said before, this is just our 1.0 mock draft. We'll probably do another one in a couple weeks right before the draft, and then we have actually been talking quite a bit, and this is something that we're excited to announce. We are going to go live for the first round of the NFL draft on the YouTube page. So whether you don't have a way to watch it, just want to see our initial reactions, want to hang out, chat with us, we're going to be doing that live on the YouTube channel. We might even, throw together a Twitch channel. I haven't decided yet on that one yet, but definitely for sure on the YouTube channel. So the draft starts at 7. We will probably be in here about 6:30 just to get everything going and to chillax and talk with you guys. We look forward to hearing from all of you. And like we said before, just if you don't like what we put here, put who you would have taken. If you love it, let us know that too. Other than that, Nick, did you have anything that you wanted to say before we go ahead and sign out here?
I mean, you really covered it. Just, again, if you don't like it, let us know. Cuss us out. I don't care. Just tell us what your thoughts are. That's all we're asking. For real, tell us how stupid we are. Just, if you think we're the dumbest guys on the planet, let us know. I'm not saying we're going to fix it. We're still going to be pretty fucking stupid, but just let us know. I've got CTE. I know that. I mean, you saw who I gave the Ravens, but I'm going to leave that for now. That's just 1.0 for right now. But yeah, just let us know and make sure you leave a like, comment, always subscribe, ring that bell so you can always catch up on all of our videos. All right. Well, with that being said, this has been the Tatted Bears Bros Podcast. I'm Zach. That's Nick. Bear down.